Today marks day 831 of the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Each day adds another layer to this human tragedy, extending far beyond the borders of the two nations. Understanding the key events that have shaped this conflict is not just an exercise in historical analysis, it's a moral imperative. Behind the statistics lie countless human stories of loss, resilience, and courage. These are the stories we must remember as we strive to make sense of the senseless. This week, the latest round of diplomatic talks aimed at resolving the Russia-Ukraine conflict ended in stalemate. Held in Istanbul, the talks were seen as a glimmer of hope. However, the chasm between their positions proved too wide to bridge. Russia demands recognition of its claim over disputed territories, a condition Ukraine rejects. The failure of these talks has dashed hopes for a ceasefire, let alone a lasting peace agreement. With both sides entrenched, the prospects for a diplomatic solution appear increasingly distant. Even as diplomatic efforts falter, the fighting on the ground intensifies. A major Russian offensive is underway in eastern Ukraine, with fierce battles raging in the Donbas region. Russian forces, backed by heavy artillery and airstrikes, are attempting to make territorial gains. Ukrainian troops are mounting a fierce defense. Civilians are caught in the crossfire, their homes and lives shattered by the relentless bombardment. Hospitals, schools, and critical infrastructure have been damaged or destroyed. The fate of eastern Ukraine and the countless lives intertwined with it hangs in the balance. In a devastating blow to Ukraine's defense efforts, Russian forces have destroyed a key bridge connecting the southern city of Kherson to the rest of the country. The bridge, a vital supply route for Ukrainian troops, was targeted in a missile attack. Its destruction is a significant strategic victory for Russia, cutting off a crucial lifeline for Ukrainian forces. The bridge was more than just infrastructure. It was a symbol of Ukrainian resilience. The international community has condemned the attack, calling it a war crime. The question remains, what will become of the Ukrainian forces and civilians stranded on the other side? As darkness falls over Ukraine, millions are plunged into literal darkness. Widespread power outages have crippled cities and towns across the country. The outages are the result of targeted Russian attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Power plants, substations, and transmission lines have been hit, causing widespread blackouts. Hospitals rely on backup generators, putting lives at risk. The international community has pledged support to help Ukraine repair its damaged infrastructure. The coming months will test Ukraine's resilience as its people face the dual challenges of war and a humanitarian catastrophe. It began in the early hours of February 24, 2022. Russian forces, under the order of President Vladimir Putin, launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Tanks rolled across the border, airstrikes targeted military installations, and Russian troops descended upon Ukrainian cities. The invasion was met with widespread international condemnation. Many predicted that Ukraine, outgunned and outnumbered, would fall within days. But the Ukrainian people, led by President Volodymyr Zelensky, mounted a fierce resistance. The invasion marked a turning point in history, revealing both human cruelty and extraordinary courage. As the sun sets on another day of conflict, we grapple with the enormity of the tragedy that continues to unfold. 831 days of bloodshed, destruction, and immeasurable human suffering. Let us not forget the lives affected during these days, the families torn apart, the homes reduced to rubble, the dreams shattered by war. Let their stories be a reminder of the human cost of conflict, a call to action for all who believe in peace. This is a story about our shared humanity, challenging us to stand up for what is right and never give up hope for a more peaceful future.